What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is your breakdown of Bret Hart, the best there was. Zombie Bret is in the game, and he's got his toxic Avengers chest sticking out here. He's a showboat, so we've got a couple showboat Brets in here. And this is your A tier for the month, which means this breakdown does not include what will inevitably be a plate and perhaps some moment action later on. So be sure to check out our power rating when that comes out in a couple of weeks, and that'll have everything there. But this is what he'll have stocked the first couple of weeks of life, so to speak, in the game. So Bret is a modern era showboat of the aggressive type. He's the A tier. His links are zombies, 20% more, modern era, 5% more, 20% more health. Modern era gems do 5% more damage and no gears at the moment. His coaching ability is insane. It is functionally a purple version of Zombie Gunther. And I've been saying for a while Zombie Gunther is the best coach in the game. And now they've just doubled down on that. So multiply gems do 60% more. Purple gems do 30% more damage. Hello, Jacob Fatu. By the way, for characters who make a larger number of multiply gems and higher number on the multi-count, 60% multi-gem damage is actually better than even Seth, the new Leonardo Ninja Turtle, that gives you 3 more multi up on them. So that means if you put Zombie Gunther and Bret Hart on somebody, multiply gems are going to hit so insanely hard, it's not even funny. In fact, I might make that video right now, too. Anyways, yes. Also, we've got a number of movesets we're going to take a look at. I've said a couple times I was hoping that his his submission ability would be massive. But that's not what we're going to take a look at yet. We're going to get to the subs. There's a couple of them. First moveset we're going to take a look at is the black and red, even in a world of green moveset. It's the Rotting Leg Sweep, 6 MP black move. Deal damage, choose 10 gems to make into red. And reversal, while being submitted, you break the submission, steal up to 3 million health, and gems broken during the submission do not deal damage to the opponent. Cannot break the submission when you're in danger. Then steal the opponent's turn. So Bret maybe doesn't have the most massive sub again, but he does have sub protection, which is nice. And then you've got the Pendulum Backbiter, 7 MP black move. Deal damage and choose a 1/6 area to make into 2-turn Juggernaut gems that will increase your black gem damage by 50% for 1 turn when activated on every countdown, and make 10 random gems into black gems at the end of the countdown. So you want to get those to go off your same turn, which is why you're going to use the Rotting Leg Sweep for that. Then you've got the Pile Driver, 10 MP red move. Finisher, deal damage, and note it is a good amount of move damage, so you could put a move damage strap on this and buff it up. And then decrease your Juggernaut gem turns by 2 and pin the opponent. Effects from these turns will be triggered, and the final effect will also be triggered. So you could run a red, and you can see we will check out triple red at one point in this as well. So right now, though, with our strap, we are going to look at gem damage. It's 50% gem damage, double Fury 2. On the Entourage, you are going to need 7 MP to start loaded in Feud, which means you either need Woods plus Santa Hogan over here, which would be fine, or if you're a lucky ducky and have Tori, I don't have Tori, I'm 50 shards from Tori. If I had hit the next milestone in this last weekend's contest, I would have Tori. I may be a little sad about this. Anyway, then black gems do 40% more damage, and black moves start with 2 more MP. Again, if you don't have her, you can run Santa Hogan over here, and then somebody who does another MP right here. It's just she eliminates the need for both of that. Then you've got Zombie Live and or Boogeyman. For black gems do 30% more damage. If you don't have Zombie Live, Boogeyman's getting more common. Then there are other options factions that do 20% black gem damage and down. If you're at 6 silver and you don't have Zombie Live, then you would just use Zombie Edge, if you have him, for 12k flat gem damage. Other than that, on the plates, the Juggernaut, notice, is an area, so you cannot buff that up with Goldberg or Seth. There is some magical rare plates that you can put on here for Juggernaut gems, but for the most part, most people are going to have the Underdog Story, or you're able to get it off of the Stip Tours. So whenever you break 4 or more black gems, generate 10 random red at the end of your turn. Plus the Eye of the Tiger. Whenever you break 3 or more red gems, get 3 black gems, move points at the time you do that. That just helps you reload the thing so that if they designed him smart, I will say this. You know, if he had a 6 MP right here, you could do a 5 and a 3, and you would just automatically reload the Pendulum Backbiter and load it. Since it's 7, it would require some things, but when you get into a fight and maybe you've got your pin bar farther, you might just be able to make something happen with that. Maybe, just maybe. 5 and 3, reload the Rotting Leg Sweep, do another, and call it good. Anyways. So, we're going to see him up against Zombie Sammy, Zombie versus Zombie, your A tier versus one of your rare S tier zombies, Cowboys versus Toxic Mutant Zombies, maybe? I don't know. But, yeah, Bret Hart, another Bret Hart in the game. That's certainly one thing we can say. He's kind of got the Superman villain with the kryptonite going through his chest, etc. Without 99 MP, your finisher is not going to be loaded, so, and technically you would just lay down this bad boy right here, probably like there would be a good place. And then you're going to do a 5 and a 3 match, and you know I said about being able to maybe reload that move. You can't, because the Juggernauts are going to take care of that, aren't they? They are, in fact, going to take care of that. So we'll lay down a 5 match right here. And then we could do, you know, a 3 match. That way, you would, just to note, need to make the 5 and 3 for... So let's go ahead and do it here, right here. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud as I'm doing this. You would need to make the 3 match, even though it moves the pin bar, because otherwise your finisher would not be loaded, and you need your finisher loaded. So we're going to do that. Hopefully you don't cascade. Hopefully we don't cascade. We did. Darn. Darn. Alright. So now turn 2. He eats some of my stuff there. That gets buffed. Now actually we're deeper in, which is kind of what I was insinuating. If we can get our pin bar farther down, even though I cascaded, not a bad thing. So this is going to trigger the effect of one and not the other when we do it, but it'll be nice. You can do a whole nother layout and try to get them to go off together, or you just trigger your Juggernaut gems right here and just get it all to go at once, which is nice. And we should hit pretty decent. We're 6 silver, so we can roughly double this damage whatever we hit throughout the Underdog Story. Yeah, it was good. 28 million. So 28 million, that's 55, rounded, 55 million. Turn cycle 1, because we missed a turn. So if you eat that turn the way you should right there, then you actually end up hitting a little bit harder, because otherwise it'd be in the 28 million range, right? But we were almost at 60 million right there, and I think he will actually hit closer to 60 million when you factor in the fact that 30% gem damage on 6 silver does not do the same as 30% at 6 gold. It actually hits quite a lot better at 6 gold. So right off the bat, really, really strong moveset for Bret. Automatically makes him probably the hardest hitting Bret in the game just right there, with the exception of what Cerzaro showed with the newest striker Bret and the Ninja Turtles Power Gem Entourage. But anyway, that's one. Let's check out some sub builds now. The next move set is also a red and black combination, but it's a little bit different. We've got the Rotting Leg Sweep that we already saw. Then we're adding in an 8 MP red ZDT, deal a good amount of damage, and choose a 1x6 area to make into 1-turn countdown gems that will deal damage and make 20 random gems into red. And then the Figure 4 Undeadlock. Submission, generate 42 random submission gems and do damage for 3 turns. Unfortunately, it's not a game-breaking amount of damage. It's not 6 gold meta relevant yet. Closer, but not quite. For 3 turns, and then remaining submission gems turn into reinforced gems. Now, you can run this one a couple of different ways. You definitely have a little bit of move damage here, so you could build a move damage strap. You could definitely buff the sub. You can buff the red gems, or you can buff the reinforced gems. I would prefer this way right here. You're gonna use Xavier, not Kofi, for black moves start with 4 more MP. Final Boss Rock for reinforced gems do 75% more damage, and black moves start with 2 more MP, which more than loads your Rotting Leg Sweep every mode. Then you've got Zombie Sammy for reinforced gems do 60% more damage, and Yokozuna for reinforced gems do 100% more damage, because your Figure 4 Leg Lock, Undead Lock, is going to leave a decent amount of reinforced gems on the board. And the ZDT, even if they break all but 2 of them pretty much, you're going to make enough random gems red that you're going to blow up the whole board red anyway. You could also run a couple other sets of trainers. For example, right here I've got Davey Boy Smith and Santa Hogan, so then you've got 45% on your red gem damage, Carrying Cross for red gem damage. And just a quick note, I did run it with your Ridge Holland right there, because it looked like, okay, well, the countdown gems are doing 100 or 1.4 million. Problem is, it does not buff, even visually, or when I went in to try it, it does not buff the countdown gems as they explode, and you just don't do enough damage with it. So just to note, you could run either of those trainer sets if you don't have the reinforced guys, but the reinforced guys are going to do you a lot better. Then on the plates, note we're going to run the Gremlin's Ears instead of the Bulldog's Bracers, because the Bulldog's Bracers may not work out of a sub. Didn't seem to, but, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Plus, I can't find them. There they are. But whenever you generate 10 or more random reinforced gems, you'd increase your red gem damage by 75%. And the Gremlin's Ears are whenever you do a sub, you increase your red by 100%. So either way, the Gremlin's Ears are better. Then you've got the ultimate plate, I Pity the Fool. Whenever you break 4 or more red gems, generate 10 random gems into black at the end of your turn. You could also, with that one, run, of course, the Acolyte plate, but you're buffing up your all gem damage by 50% right there. It's just a little bit more rare plate, so I'll run it this way, then I'll show you with the Acolyte afterwards. Otherwise, everything's the same, 50% strap with double Fury 2s, and we'll see what we do's. Silly. Anyway, how you like the zombie background? This is straight from Scopely headquarters. The incubation of the mutant zombies, I think we're getting, is what this is. Anyway. So in order for these to be started loaded turn 1 outside of 99 MP, you would need to use this. These would be needing 7, and this one would need 8 plus your turn bonus to get loaded. So you would need to go ahead and use this to do like a row break here. Kind of set something like that up. You do have more, so you could even do something like that, but you're more likely to cascade. So I'm just going to set that for right now. Make sure we don't cascade. Hooray. Then you would throw down your 1x6 area. Just don't put it over the gem you made that's wild card. Otherwise, you perfectly should fill the board up with the wild card in place without overwriting anything. They thought of it down to the wild card gem, which was awesome. See, we lost one of our countdown gems there, and he's eating a lot of my reinforced gems as well, but not too bad overall. And don't forget, this is silver, so that reinforced set got them doubled, lots of cascading, which is in this case actually a good thing. Plus we reloaded right there. 17 million turn one. Cycle one, technically. 17 million. So that would be about 36 million cycle one if you're talking about, your, there we go, your 6 gold. And you can see it's not going to end him quite as quickly as what we just did. The other one I liked better. Ooh, also, that just overrode a bunch of our countdown gems because of the wildcard gems that were on the board. But actually, this is a good example. Even just with 3 of them, we're still going to fill the board up. So, boom. Nice. Nice. And nice again. All of that was actually a really good set. You can see 17, 18 million. So you're in the right under 40 million range with 6-star gold. But you've subbed them down every time, and once you get it loaded, it's pretty flawlessly recycling from there. So not bad. The Acolyte plate would just take you a little over 40 million if you wanted to put that on there instead. All right, let's take a look at one more moveset. The last moveset we're going to take a look at is the Sharpshooter. No special name for it, even though we've got down here the Undead Lock instead of the whatever. Just the Sharpshooter. Color submission. Choose 8 gems to make into yellow submission gems that do damage, not a lot of damage, for 3 turns while sub-gems are on the board. Still missing a really viable sub-meta person for 6 gold. And it should always be Bret, but it's not. Snap Bone Suplex, 8 MP, high charge moves here. Yellow, deal damage and make 32 random gems into leech gems of strength 482k, which is not bad. And then the Undying Pointed Elbow, deal damage about 800k and make 32 leech gems into red, and then deal damage, again, similar amount, and swap a 2x3 random area to yellow. So once again, you've got a number of things you can do. You could run move damage on this. You could run sub damage, but it's not going to work. But it is technically a super sub because it would flawlessly recycle itself if you just make 7 of them into yellow and then 1 somewhere else to do the sub. It's technically a super sub on its own, but it's just not doing a ton of damage even if you buff it all the way up. And then you've got high charges on this moveset. So you have to use the color sub to load the other 2 moves, and then the finisher reloads the color sub. So it's kind of an interesting setup. Very Final Boss rock in some effects, but instead of making the whole board yellow, he's making the whole board red, and then he's got the leech gems instead of the botch gems, but still very Final Boss rock in the overall feel of this. For your moves, you're going to need Kofi to start loaded turn 1, but because this is such a high charge moveset overall, you're going to need somebody else that does 2 more yellow MP. I've chosen Tatanka for 100% more submission damage. You could use, I think it's Bailey for 100% move damage, and keep in mind that would mean that the 800k that hits twice on the elbow drop would hit, for 1.6 million twice, but still 3 million, in the 6 gold meta is just not a whole lot. You could, of course, buff that up again with a move damage strap, 200% yellow gem or move damage, metal, etc., etc. But for right now, I'm running them this way. You've got the Carrying Cross for red gems do 30% more damage, and then Mr. Austin Theory for leech gems do 100% more damage, which is going to buff those red gems. Once again, the best plate to use is the Gremlin's Ears. Ignore the make red black. I mean, that just adds a little bit more damage. If there were a make red break yellow or make yellow, I would use that instead, but it's black and yellow or yellow and black, so we don't want that, or green and red now. If you've got it, of course, the Ghost Whopper is always going to be an amazing plate for whoever, but this plate does not exist, as you can see from the branding that they've lost the licensing to. Not in the game, can't get it anymore, so if you've got one, you're lucky, you could run it. But yeah, the Gremlin's Ears is the most important part. Whenever you make 3 or more sub gems, increase your red gem damage by 100%. Still same kind of setup we were running before. And then make sure if you've got one, you've got a yellow move damage, 200% metal on there. Otherwise, I'm running Double Fury 2 as we did before. So let's check this moveset out and see if it can get anywhere close to what that first moveset did, because that's still our high water mark, which would mean I won't use another Bret with any subs. Anyway, yeah. So these are going to be 6 MP, 7 MP to start. So this one would still need 1. You can't use it without a middle line bonus. And then this one wouldn't be loaded at all. So you would need to at least make a 3 match here. You can do something like that. And then the rest of them just throw randomly out on the board because they don't turn into anything super special for you. But you would need them to load your turn, so it does sub down your opponent's moves. But as you can see, 635k at a time is not very much in the gold meta. So now you've flawlessly reloaded everything. Like I say, technically super sub because you could just keep going with it. You're going to lay down the reinforced gems right here. Boom, 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 boom. And then you're going to turn all of these into finishers. Yes, your finisher is going to turn them all into red gems. Although it missed some, so, that was nice of it. It missed some pretty spectacularly. Then you're going to make a random area so it reloads your sub. Life's good. 21 million, so it would be in the 40 million range when you're talking gold. So all the way around, for an A tier character, this is pretty much exactly what we expect. The first moveset actually was a little bit spicier than I would think for a normal A tier. But keep in mind with your A tiers, you typically then also have your plate, which we should know something about maybe as soon as this weekend, and potentially a moment that would impact your A tier character as well. So overall, as far as A tiers go, Bret's fine. I mean, he's kind of right in that sweet spot. He's not like overkill like the Miz was, but again, Miz didn't get there until he got a moment either. And he's not underwhelming. He's just kind of right there in the middle, which is what an A tier technically is supposed to be. However, I will say this. If you can get him for his coaching ability alone, that right there is amazing. I've said it for a year now. Zombie Gunther is the best coach in the game. And if you haven't seen our video that put Zombie Gunther up against the new Seth Leonardo, you need to see it because you'd be surprised how much better Gunther actually was. And prior to this, I said your best combination is Zombie Gunther and Seth. Now your best combination will be Zombie Gunther, or really actually because all of the characters that we've seen so far, the 3 that are out tonight, all of them have this combination of multiplies do 60% plus a color gem. So you just pick your right color combination for you and match 2 of them up, and people with high multi percentages are going to do insanely good damage. So that's where his ability is. In fact, you pair him with the other Bret Hart that has a similar coaching ability, you've got some amazing things going. So overall, try that again. The subs are continually underwhelming, unfortunately. I would love to see them at least double, if not more than that. But his focus, for being a Bret Hart again, isn't really on that. It's more the Juggernaut gem build and the breaking of red and reinforce, or the breaking of red and leech. He's kind of a specialty with those, and he does a very good job. We will run him once his plate and moment inevitably are released, so be sure to check back in a couple weeks for the power rating video, which has all of that incorporated, that is not now out but should be in the future. That's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Like the video, subscribe to Champions Chat, and then send this to your friend or faction mate who maybe gets him from a lucky bag, maybe gets him a few weeks into the contest and says, how do you run this guy best? Here's how. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.